Well, hello. You are hiking with Jenny on the Appalachian Trail. It's day 18. Just left the Mount Collins shelter. Slept well. I have a big day today. I think it's going to be something like 16 miles. The shelters are spaced really weird apart, so the next shelter is 8 miles away, which is too short, and 16 is a bit long for me, but I don't really have much choice if I want to make it out by Saturday morning. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'm prepared that I might end up just cooking dinner on trail to get me the rest of the way to camp and to save time. Just gotta buckle up and go for it. My bag is lighter today, which is great, because now I only have 2 days of food left in my bag. So who knows, maybe I'll be able to go a little bit faster today. We're gonna be descending into Newfound Gap within the next 5 miles, and so I'll be able to use the bathroom there and empty my trash, which is exciting. Oh, the simple pleasures of through hiking. Just trekking up this half-mile trail to get back onto the actual Appalachian Trail, because this shelter is so far off trail, but yeah, what can you do? There just isn't very many options, and you have to camp at the shelters in the Smokies. Otherwise, it would be a little bit easier if you could just stealth camp somewhere and then break up the mileage a little bit better. So far, I have lucked out every night where the shelters were full, so I was able to use my hammock, but I am carrying that weight of the sleeping pad anyway, just in case. One thing I didn't take into account when entering the Smokies is how many section hikers are out here. So 2 nights ago, that's why the shelter was full there, because they had completely booked the shelter with like 12 people, and that was the max. I mean, I probably should have realized it was a popular destination for backpacking, but I didn't realize it would be that crazy in winter. Apparently there was some drama that night where a through hiker had set up in the shelter, and then the section hikers showed up and said they'd reserved it, and that through hiker was very angry and started swearing, and it was a whole thing. So it does happen. Through hikers do get kicked out of shelters because section hikers have priority because they made a reservation. I think that's really neat that spring is just coming right out of that rock. I mentioned I'm reading AWOL on the Appalachian Trail, and I see some parallels between AWOL and myself, because he was the same age that I was when I started the trail, and he did a similar thing where he was in the middle of a well-paying job and just decided that he wanted to hike the trail now rather than later, and that's basically exactly what I did. So I thought, you know, I was in kind of a unique situation, and like no one's ever gonna be able to relate to me, like, you know, a woman mid-career, like just choosing to go hike the trail. And it turns out, I guess I'm not the only one. It's interesting, and I'm looking forward to finishing the book and kind of seeing like how his life turns out after the trail. I thought about that for myself too, like, am I just gonna easily be able to just transition back to work, or am I just gonna be like, I don't want to do this anymore? I always find disused roads fascinating, and this is the original route that you could take through the Smoky Mountains before they built Newfound Gap Road. and I guess it was like very rugged. But you can still hike it, I guess. There's traces of it left. I was starting to wonder what all these fences are here for, and apparently it's to keep out the wild hogs. To wait for an app.
It's beautiful country. Time has lost all.
Yeah. Back on trail, another 11-ish miles to go to get to camp. This trail coming up out of Newfound Gap is very touristy, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Good in that it's not terribly difficult, and bad in the sense it's just crowded. I've probably seen at least 100 people between the ones going up and the ones going down on this one trail. I just left the ice water shelter, I think it's called, and I'm surprised how many day hikers I keep seeing on the trails this far up from the gap. I wasn't expecting that at all. I knew I'd see a lot of people at the gap itself, but wasn't expecting to see so many on the trail. But always keep passing more and more and more. Look at these views I'm walking along. So it says there's a little side trail up to Charlie's Bunion, so since I'm here, might as well check it out. Wow.
Yep.
I'll take it back.
Mom, are you getting up here?
Yeah. I guess what you did.
Well, I think we might be done seeing all the day hikers. I think they were all gunning for that Bunion. But for some reason, I'm really craving a ham and cheese sandwich right now. Oh, with mayonnaise and mustard and chips. There comes a point in the day of hiking in which I just kind of get into the groove and I just feel really relaxed. And this is one of those moments. I think I'm like 4-ish miles to camp at this point, and I feel good still. I'm really impressed with myself because the last couple days, you know, once I'd gone this far, I was just depleted, exhausted, just didn't know how I was gonna make it the extra couple miles to camp. And so far, I don't want to jinx it, but on this 16-mile day, I'm feeling good. Both times when I felt like, you know, I was zooming and I could do more were the days when I was carrying 2 days worth of food. So I think the solution is I just need to keep my pack weight down however I can. And I have some ideas about that. There's some things I'm thinking about. sending home that I really have not used at all, and definitely going to be sending home that sleeping pad because I haven't used that at all. I'm definitely looking forward to sending home some of my redundant winter gear once I'm sure that, you know, temperatures aren't going to get too crazy low. But so far this trip, I have really lucked out. It hasn't really gotten below freezing on nights that I've been camping. I think it probably got that cold when I was at a hostel. I think once I make it through the Smokies, I'm gonna feel like I can hike anything. It has been surprisingly tough. Well, today has been a little bit easier. And I wonder how much of it is due to my pack weight the first couple days. But I think it's still tough. Lots of elevation gain. Lots of ups and downs. It just hit me now how much I now crave real food. I've been thinking about like sandwiches and burgers and yeah. I think the hiker hunger's coming. It's coming. Wow. One thing I will say about today is it definitely brought the views. Wow. Couldn't have had better weather for this too. Ugh. Do not fall down that. That is a sheer drop. Oh. I'm on the last bit of climb before the shelter. Got about a half a mile to the junction, and then it's another 0.4 off of the junction. And it's 5:42, so I should make it to camp by like 6:15 or so, which is okay. It's actually better than I expected, so I am good with that. I'll have time to eat dinner and set up my hammock before it gets dark, so. All right, Camp Junction. Well, I did it. 16-mile day. Another long, tough day in the Smokies. Did 16 miles today. Probably like 4,500 feet of elevation gain or something like that. Very, very big day. I did pretty well though. I got to camp by like 6:15. It always feels like there's barely enough time to get everything done before it gets dark. Tomorrow looks easier. It's only going to be like 13 miles. And the elevation looks better, so that'll be good because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So the beautiful weather couldn't last. Thank you for watching and happy trails.